of the Fabulous Five. It's week 16 edition where we give the top 5 rookie performers. We've been talking during the commercial break about the Sun Bowl. University of Pittsburgh playing in Sun. Hey, shout out to Taquan Underwood, wide receivers coach and passing coordinator, former NFL player, and Jason McCourty, good friend, coaching for Pitt in the Sun Bowl. All right, now on to the Schrager Fabulous Five. Let's start with another Pittsburgh player, and that's Mr. Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was a stud at Pitt. Got him a couple weeks until he got thrown into the lineup. It seemed like the season was going to be, all right, here's a rebuild. Not so fast. Here come the Steelers, the absolute opposite of a rebuild, as they have found a way on Saturday night to beat the Raiders in the most dramatic of fashions. In the final drive of this game, Kenny Pickett went 7 for 9, driving his team in frigid cold weather against a team playing for their playoff lives, and with the specter of Franco Harris and his passing above the entire game. This pass to Pickens, this was it. If there is one moment we're going to remember from this Steelers season, it was this incredible comeback on NFL Network and Kenny Pickett showing that he can do this in cold weather with this team and get it done. Here's the final drive. A heroic job by Kenny Pickett here. Doesn't matter what he did before this, because this is what won the game. 7-9, 75 yards, a touchdown, and a passing rating through the moon. Kenny Pickett's number 5. Who's number 4? How about his teammate? How about his teammate, Steelers wide receiver, George Pickens, who not only caught that pass, George Pickens was awesome on Saturday night. Check out this catch here. This is along the sidelines. George Pickens makes the adjustment, then gets the after the catch 5 extra yards. He has been making plays like this all season, but watch the route here, and Jason, I know you appreciate this. It's like a back shoulder fade, but he still can adjust and catch it. Pickens was all over the field in this game, and he is a force to be reckoned with. This catch alone gets him on the list, but of course he had the game-winning touchdown pass as well and made the catch there. George Pickens in this game, 5 catches, 57 yards, and this huge touchdown in the 4th quarter to put the Raiders away and for the Steelers to stay alive in their playoff dreams. Steelers still have a shot here. They need a lot of help, but they are not dead, and George Pickens is making a huge impact as a rookie wide receiver. All right, number 3, let's go to Christmas. I don't know if you watched this on CBS, if you watched it on Nickelodeon, but you saw one of my favorite rookies making plays all over the field. His name, NBA fans, take a watch here. Kobe Durant.
Yeah.
Yes, Kobe Durant is his name, and Kobe Durant had 2 different interceptions. Here he is making this one. Fingertips, able to bounce it, gets the pick there, and then, hey, Russell Wilson, pretty good quarterback. He's out, Brett Rippon's in, and there you go! Kobe Durant with a pick 6 to put this game away, and the entire sidelines is running with him. Kobe Durant had a breakout game in front of a national TV audience. SpongeBob was going wild. Let's listen to Kobe Durant on his first ever Pop Warner high school, college pick 6. Take a listen.
I finally did it. I finally did it. That's my first career pick 6 since high school. So that's been a dream come true.
All right, so he had one in high school, but he went to South Carolina State. He was a 4th-round pick of the Rams. He was the 2021 MEAC Defensive Player of the Year. The pride of Lamar, South Carolina. Kobe Durant, you make the list at number 3. How about number 2? Let's get to number 2, and if you're watching these Cowboys, it seems like their defense is having some issues, and yet they have this young man who is making big plays every single week. His name is DaRon Bland, and I thought this interception was outstanding. DaRon Bland has 4 interceptions in the last 4 games. He's got 5 interceptions this season, which leads the team. It also is tied for 3rd in the entire NFL. DaRon Bland, most interceptions by a Cowboys rookie in the last 20 seasons. That includes Trayvon Diggs, Morris Claiborne, all the different guys who have been there and have been highly, highly drafted defensive backs. DaRon Bland is that guy. That was Al Harris you saw smiling over there. Al Harris, an NFL legend. And he and DaRon Bland have been really working well. Love what this defensive backfield is doing with DaRon Bland getting the interceptions. Hey, they've been giving up a lot of points, but DaRon Bland has been a game changer with his turnovers. Number 1, yet again, Fabulous 5. Don't forget what this guy is doing. We've got to give him love. Brock Purdy's number 1 again, guys. Brock Purdy threw this pass to Kittle. It's a sick pass. Brock Purdy just, go. George Kittle was having a fine season. If you had him in fantasy, you're like, when's George Kittle going to get going? Brock Purdy the last 2 weeks has been like, you know what? I'm going to win you a fantasy championship. I'm going to get George Kittle about 1,000 yards in 2 weeks. Kittle's been rejuvenated. Purdy looks like he's a steely veteran. you know, we say that we take Patrick Mahomes for granted sometimes. How about the fact that Brock Purdy was thrown into the fire as a 7th-round pick, and they haven't lost a game, and they've been blowing teams out, and the offense is putting up huge numbers. Look at this guy's season. 3-0, 200 passing yards a game, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and another amazing passer rating. Brock Purdy, 7th-round pick from the 49ers. It's not even a story anymore. We just take it for granted. Oh, yeah. There's Mahomes, there's Josh Allen, there's Joe Burrow, and there's Brock Purdy. That's the quarterbacks in the league right now. Let's take a look here as we go back to the quarterback who won his first 3 starts in NFL history. The only other one to put up these numbers was this guy, and he wasn't even a rookie. Kurt Warner's first 3 starts had 2 touchdowns, 200 yards in each of them. That's what Purdy's doing. This is rare air. What Brock Purdy's doing, it's just him and Kurt Warner when you look at the stats of what they're doing to start their careers as starters. Brock Purdy's won, Deron Bland, Kobe Durant, Pickens, and Pickett. Guys, the Fabulous Five.
I'm looking right at 2 and 3. You have 2 DBs on the Fab Five. I love it. A 4th-round pick in Durant, 5th-round pick in Bland. These guys aren't the first-rounders, the names that everybody knows, and they're out there on the field, and they're making plays, taking the ball away. That's what it all comes down to. A pick 6 for the rookie. I love it. Prime time.
Feels so fitting. That 4 or 5, the 2 Steelers logos. You started that segment with the Bulls. I'll end it with the Bulls. Georgia Bulldogs from George Pickens. They're playing in the Peach Bowl this weekend. And, of course, Pitt Panthers back in the Sun Bowl, which is where I first covered Kenny Pickett.
That's it. Do you have any Sun Bowl thoughts?
It's a great
every year you would be the sideline reporter.
Every year I was the sideline reporter for the Sun Bowl.
What a treat.
It is the 2nd longest standing sports television property on CBS behind the Masters.
Wow.
So it is a historic event.
That's it.
And that's what it is.
No travels to Mexico?
Didn't go to Mexico, but a beautiful drive across western Texas to get there.
Shout out to Juarez.
Shout out to El Paso and the Sun Bowl people. Fantastic.
We love it. Guys, more Good Morning Football after this. If I missed anybody, let me know. Juarez, if you're watching, we love you.
You know they'll let you know.
Yeah, big viewership in Juarez.
All right, I'm Will Sullivan. Welcome back to Good Morning Football. As we saw, the Chargers, they end up clinching their first playoff spot since 2018, and they potentially get some good news as it comes to one of their star players over the next 2 weeks. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport and NFL Network's Bridget Condon both reporting Joey Bosa is expected to return to practice this week. He's been on injured reserve since injuring his groin way back in Week 3. Bosa could be ready for the Chargers' Week 17 matchup with the Rams. The 49ers with some potentially good news as well when it comes to wide receiver Deebo Samuel. Head coach Kyle Shanahan telling reporters Monday that Samuel is making good progress and could return to practice this week after missing the last 2 games with an ankle injury. The Vikings currently the number 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture, but still have a chance to take over the number 1 spot as they're just a game behind the Eagles for the best record in the NFC. Head coach Kevin O'Connell now has to juggle the importance of home field advantage or resting players to get them ready for the postseason.
It's a balance between making sure we're doing everything we can to still win football games. There's a lot out in front of us as a team. We've been able to clinch the division, and we know we're going to be a part of the playoffs, but there's still a lot to be said for, trying to give ourselves an opportunity for the most amount of home games we possibly can, while also making sure we're taking care of our roster and really projecting what it looks like from a snap count standpoint to be fresh when we get those opportunities come January.
To rest or keep things rolling for the postseason, that is the question. Jamie, as a Vikings fan, the Vikings have a lot to play for with just Justin Jefferson alone. He has Megatron's single-season receiving record in his sights. So what do you think?
Well, first of all, as it pertains to the record being broken, a lot of people pushed back yesterday on me in my proclamation that JJ should be MVP with he's got the extra game. It's not a true record setting. Okay, fine. If you're going to deter the averages because of an extra game, that's fine. Fresh is best, all right? And sometimes an MVP conversation or records have to go by the wayside if you want to be playing in February.
Yeah.
But that's not my team. I covered the 32. Okay.
Still have plenty to play for.
Still have plenty to play for. Yeah, I had to come down a little bit off of that yesterday. Will Selva, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, we like to freeze moments in time from the week past with Hall of Fame. Here are images to induct this week. Peter, why don't you get us
It's the lasting image of the week, and it was a wild week. It started with the Jets and Jaguars, and it ended last night with the Colts and the Chargers. There was a Christmas game. There was Nickelodeon. And I'm going right back to your Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, the sideline celebration with just complete joy. We just hit a 61-yarder, and we are going to the playoffs, and we're keeping ourselves atop the NFC North and also the 2 seed above San Francisco. That's in 8 days. Kevin O'Connell was the head coach of the greatest comeback of all time and the longest Vikings game-winning kick of all time, a 61-yarder. I think the image of O'Connell, just pure exasperation and joy. That, to me, is the lasting image of this week.
Yeah, you talked about it the weekend before, the weekend of comebacks. It was crazy in the NFL. But this past weekend, it was historic as well because it was so freaking cold and